Hey guys, in this episode, we're going to be talking about our magic menu. And it's really a continuation of the previous episode with the widget switcher, but we're going to get more in depth as to the menu. Because in the earlier episodes, we built this action menu, but now what we're working on is clicking inside of here and getting results. So when we click on the magic menu, we get something that looks very similar to the prior menu. We did this with the widget switcher in the last episode. And visually, the buttons look very similar, but the underlying code is quite different between this menu and how to display this menu. So we're going to cover that portion. So there's no new visual aspects to show, but it's really a two-part episode, so I want to dive into that. Let's see. So there's nothing to Google or define because we already looked up what is a widget switcher, and that's where we left off. And I showed how to toggle between the indexes. But now let's look at what we did to build this Battle Magic menu. In the widget switcher, we have our action button menu, and we created a new widget called Battle Magic menu. And in each of these, they have buttons. So there's 4 buttons in this widget, and you can see 8 buttons plus 9 with this back arrow button in this widget. Each button is different. These buttons are action buttons, and I created a new blueprint button called Magic Button for the buttons shown here in this Magic menu. Originally, I tried to capture all of the buttons in just the action button menu. I'm sorry, just the action button blueprint. But I soon learned that it's more cleaner to have different buttons for each action menu. So I'm anticipating next to create a new item button and an item button menu, and then possibly attack next. So we created a new magic button, and I really like this code here. It's much cleaner than a previous one that I had in the action button. I'm going to pull it up because that's one thing, an update that I made, which I haven't shown yet. Previously, the action button had a different code here using a switch on the enum, but I was talking with ChatGPT, and there's a cleaner way to do this. It's going to be the enum and the battle action button to enum string to text string to set text. So instead of doing a widget switcher, which displays all of the types, and you have like 4 set texts currently, instead of doing set text, set text a number of times, this code here is much cleaner and simpler. That was about the only update to the action button that I made. So I'm going to exit this because we're focusing on magic button. So this is the code. Sorry, I took a screenshot for Discord, but this is the code for the magic button. And then later on, this is where we call a interface message, which makes me remember. Let's go show what we did. I think we covered this in the last episode, but in our battle mode, our BPI action button, we have this magic selected with an input of E battle magic menu. So I've got action selected with its own enum and magic selected with the magic enum. And we drag off the magic button. Well, first, to get this on-clicked, for the action button, we click it, and if we scroll down to the details panel, right now it has this arrow icon because it's already been used, but if it were not used, it would show a plus like this. So on-clicked, what happens next? You drag out a get of E magic button, which is the enumerator of the battle magic menu. And then we call our interface the message. In order to display this, you have to first have a get owning player. So if I right click get owning player, this is what allows the BPI type message to display. And what this means is this is calling out for any other blueprint that wants to call this function. It can be created as an event. Get to more of that in a moment. So that's going to cover it for the magic button. I did go ahead and in class settings, go ahead and added the implemented interface. We've got our BPI action button here. You can see that. And then that's it for the button. As far as the designer goes, it's pretty simple. Let me take a screenshot of this too. And that's everything for this single button. So to recap, it's pretty similar to the action button, but we have totally different purposes. Now we can create level 2, which is our battle magic menu. This is similar to our action button menu, but the differences make the reason why I've created a separate widget. So let me pull up just to compare. In blueprints, in UI, let's pull up the action button menu to compare. Let's start with the designer tabs, actually. In the designer tab, we are using a new, I don't know what you call this, a widget type or palette, I guess, for a wrap box. Let's Google V5, what is a wrap box? So in UE5, a wrap box is a layout widget that arranges child widgets like buttons, images, or text in a flowing manner, automatically moving them to the next line or wrapping when they run out of horizontal space, making it perfect for responsive UIs like inventory tags or icon bars that adapt to different screen sizes. It acts like a container that stacks items left to right or top to bottom, creating rows and columns dynamically. So we did not have that in the action button menu. We just had a vertical box because it was more simple. But here, now we want rows. Because we have rows, we're using a wrap box. And I can even imagine this in other types of menus. And even maybe in our progress and action time bar when we create, the HP bar and the action time bar that we've already created. I could see us using that. And then we've got a previous page for just text type. Let me take a screenshot of this for Discord. So that's as far as the designer goes. For the graph, it looks pretty similar, at least in the event graph from the action button menu. We have actually just one. At the pre-construct for the action button, we do a build menu function. And same thing for here. We do create magic menu comment, but the only thing from the event pre-construct is build magic menu. So this is very similar to over here to this. So we have one function that's called that event pre-construct, and then one similar to the action button. Oh, this is actually just the arrow. So let me come back to this. Let's continue on the similarities first. So from the build magic menu function, we have our function, and this looks a little bit different. Quite a bit different actually from the action button. You can see it's much more complex for a number of reasons. The battle magic menu, we are expecting to have many more options. So we're using the variable of the wrap box. We're clearing the children, similar to how we did over here. But what's also happening is we are including all of the listed magic items in a way that you'll be able to scroll for when there's too many to see in one page. So that's what all you see here. This code here is some math calculations to determine which page and how many is shown on each page. Right now I haven't set up the pages, but this is just getting prepared for that. So what's happening is the build magic menu function, it clears the children so that there's no overlap depending on the state. We do some math for the page setup, and we run a for loop with an array for the available actions length. This is all, I can't really explain this too well. Through a branch, and then this actually would be helpful if the community has any ideas. ChatGPT did not like that I inserted a do once here, and it was saying avoid it, you're going to run into issues, but I couldn't figure out any other way. And let me just go ahead and show what happens. When I go to the designer tab, you see them nicely, just my 8 enum magic items. But when I unplug this, execute, it cycles through so many times and it never ends. That's why I put a do once. And now it looks much cleaner. But ChatGPT is warning me, don't do this. You're going to run into issues when you enter and exit the menu, because I guess technically it does say do once, so I'm not sure what's going to happen. Maybe somebody can help me there. And then we continue on over, similar to the action button menu. We grab the array for each loop. We connect the array element to our enum magic button. That's a variable exposed on spawn in our magic button. Over here, our magic button is instance editable and exposed on spawn, which allows us to connect variables from other nodes in a different blueprint. And then we can add the child to the wrap box, similar to how we did over there. Now, let me grab a screenshot of this code. So then from here, back to our event graph. On the back arrow, this is new to the magic menu. When it's clicked, we get the owning player and have another blueprint interface message. This one called previous selected. So let me open up that BPI again to show you. Got my son Westin of Westins World in the room now, so we might hear some background noise. I'm sorry. We have a previous selected with no input, and that's what's being called at the battle magic menu. When the back button is clicked, this is what allows us, this back button, to jump between the action menu and the back to this action. I'm sorry, from the action menu to the magic menu and back. I get a crash right now, which is okay because I haven't really done anything new. Nope, no crash, got lucky. Lastly, so we covered the magic button, the magic menu. Did I take a picture of this one? Yeah, so that was the BPIs. I just took a screenshot. And then these buttons, the buttons feed into the magic menu. And the magic menu then feeds into the WBP Battle UI. So that is how we got to this point here. I was debating whether to go ahead and jump into the, oh, what's going on here? Oh yeah, maybe that's interesting. So that do once might actually be messing this up. No? Interesting. Just got an error there as the first time. Maybe because I undid this and then did it. I shouldn't have been able to do that during simulation, but I didn't like it. So we'll keep our eye out for that. So magic, back, magic, back, magic, click a bunch, back. No errors. Okay. Okay, what I was saying is I've been debating whether to go ahead and build out the item menu using a lot of the similar tricks as the magic, because this is another one where we're going to display a certain page, probably 8 per page, and then you can toggle between pages. But I think I want to go ahead actually and go further into the magic menu, because it could be that we learn things that we want to later then implement into the item, which we haven't run into yet because of maybe some issues. Not quite sure yet. Could be just about anything. I think that's going to cover it today. So yeah, on the magic one, I think what I want to do in the next episode is build out something that happens when you click on magic. Let's start with maybe a cure. I don't have a cure here. Maybe I'll replace poison with cure. And then what we're going to need really before doing that is another bar for HP, because we want the cure to replenish our health, but we're going to need to set up health and a health bar to do that. So we'll probably set up another bar in the next episode. Thanks for sticking around. Let me know if you have any questions, and check out the Discord. Thanks, everybody. Bye.